company called iWowWe. iWowWe. And the CEO of iWowWe is Bill Starkey. And iWowWe is a company that's doing $130 million a year in sales. I'll tell you a little story. 7.5 years ago, Bill Starkey, our CEO, was having lunch with his good friend Rod Canyon. Now, Rod Canyon is the creator of compact computers. Now, they're having lunch, and Rod Canyon takes his phone out, and he dials a number, and he hands it to Bill Starkey. Bill Starkey picks up the phone and says, hello? The guy on the other end says, hello, who's this? He says, this is Bill Starkey. Well, this is Bill Gates. What is it that you do? Because for Rod Canyon to put you on the phone with me must mean you're pretty important. So he says, because I owe Rod Canyon everything. He created a computer, and he put my operating system on every one of his computers he sold, and it made us both billionaires overnight. Well, Bill Starkey says, well, what I'm involved in is I have a desire to create a cell phone where you'll be able to video chat with multiple people at a time anywhere in the world. Well, they finished their conversation. Rod Canyon took the phone again and finished talking to Bill Gates, and then they hung up. And Rod Canyon says to Bill Starkey, he says, if you build it, I'm in. He's our first board member, Rod Canyon. So Bill Starkey and Rod Canyon went to work. The next person that they spoke to was Mike Stewart. Now, Mike Stewart's not a real popular name. He doesn't really get himself out of the closet to share that. But what he did was, a long time ago, when the natural gas lines and stuff were starting to flow around the world, he created a little electronic gizmo that keeps track of the flow of the gas. And he patented that device, and he needed to create more of them. So in his creation of creating more and more of these little gizmos, he made a company. And that company is called Intel. And he's another board of our directors. So these guys are deciding to do what they're doing, knowing where we want to go. We want to be able to connect on the internet. They go to Richard Bateman. Now, he works for Microsoft. Richard Bateman's in charge of strategic developments, strategic deployments, and very, high-level things that are very important for Microsoft. But the claim to fame that really matters for us is what he did was he had the ability to take a cell phone and connect it to the internet. And that was one of the things that he oversaw. And he's one of our board members as well, one of our creators. So the next guy we're going to talk about is Richard Conrad. Or Dick Conrad. Dick Conrad. Dick Conrad. He's the single largest stockholder of Hewlett-Packard as an individual. He was offered the CEO-ship of Apple, and he turned it down. And he also worked on motherboards for computers. So it's interesting to know that the gentlemen that are our board of directors created a motherboard, created a computer, created a processor, and figured out how to make a phone all talk to the internet. We've got an incredible group of people as our board of directors. And amongst all these men, there were trillions of dollars pushing down on iWowWe for development. All right? So let's talk about our technology for a second. Mike Nolan. He's a website database genius. Created the WebEx platform, worked on the WebEx platform, and created the Cache for Clunkers database, one of the most complex databases in the world. He's on board. Jake Stevenson. Have you heard of Twitter on your phone? A little mobile app? Cool. He worked on that. He works for us. With all this amazing technology, the next thing that's really important is that you have it encrypted and protected. So these guys knew some guys, and there were some guys at Wells Fargo that had some encryption that they were working on. And when the trillionaires decided we're going to take a whole lot of money and a whole lot of people and throw them at our Wells Fargo friends so that we can have encryption, guess what? We have Department of Defense encryption now so that we can send stuff to the troops around the world. Now, with all that being said, we've done a really good job of covering the PC market. Incredible technology, but where would we be if we didn't have everything covered? So Bill Starkey and his friends went after Apple, and they got a business architect. He's a software design architect. This guy has the ability to look at a plan like this and put it in paper and give it to programmers and make it happen. So they brought the BA from Apple over on board for, I don't know, whatever amount of money, but he's on board. All right. So now we've got trillionaire board members, incredible technology. What's left? Well, we need some help with our training and our marketing, right? So that's Buck Stephenson. Have you ever heard that commercial, Nationwide is by your side? Have you ever heard that? That's Buck. Buck's responsible for 100 million hits or touches or connections with people a month. And if you had 100 million leads for a sales force, they're going to go from zero to hero in no time. And that's what Buck's claim to fame is. That's what Buck does. He takes you from zero to hero with no breaks. Flat out does it. Now, he was making, from what I was told, an ungodly amount of money that required 2 commas in it with a couple of zeros in front of that. And Bill Starkey wouldn't tell us the exact amount, but when you realize in order to get someone that's making that kind of money, he had to get paid a considerable amount more than that, and we got him. So I don't know what he makes, but it's a whole lot. And his guarantee is he'll give us 100 million hits as salespeople a month to go after people. Now, what every great trainer needs, every great instructor, every great teacher needs is a facility to do it. So we have iWowWe University. This is a facility down in Las Vegas that our CEO, Bill Starkey, flew down and paid cash for, and they're retrofitting this thing to be state-of-the-art. So we're going to have a state-of-the-art training facility under a state-of-the-art, top-line, best trainer in the world that's going to get us 100 million hits a month. So I don't think we're going to struggle for who we're going to talk to. So the next thing I want to talk about is, we mentioned that we're doing 130 million a year in sales. There's a sales force that has over 60,000 people in it right now. Well, those people need what? A leader, a good leader. So any great sales organization has a great sales leader, and that guy's name is Paul Paget. All right? So Paul Paget, 27 years in the sales industry. He is a amazing individual that's taken numerous network marketing companies from zero to hero as well. When I say zero to hero, everyone on this piece of paper is a zero to hero person. Every one of them is exceptional at what they do. Paul, he not only is he amazing at sales, but he's also a amazing person for the globe. He's into conservation. He's into giving back. He's into making sure that everyone's taken care of. But along with that, Paul is amazing at taking care of business and training people, and he makes salesmen gladiators that just can go out and just slay a sale. That's what Paul's good at. Well, Bill Starkey gets what he wants, but it just took him 2.5 years to acquire Paul. So when Paul got to talking with Bill Starkey, he told Bill, he says, I'm in, everything looks wonderful, but I want you to understand that I can't take my job without my partner. And he says, you have a partner? He says, I absolutely do. He's my right-hand man, and he's exceptional. He's equal to myself. He's good in every aspect of the sale. People love him. I need him. Well, Bill said, sure, no problem. So there's Paul's partner. He's a little tiny circle on a little tiny line. But what's exciting is, if you had the opportunity, Thomas, to work with that guy right there that is in that circle, would you stop doing what you're doing right now, knowing that you've got trillionaires putting all their money into a wonderful company that's doing $130 million in sales with state-of-the-art technology and the best trainer in the world giving you 100 million leads and a sales force under Paul Paget's leadership? Would you do it right now? Because that guy is me, and it's a pleasure to meet you.